Everyone has likely set their 2026 goals already, but I haven't shared mine until now, and this was done intentionally. I have gone through so many years of setting goals and didn't stick to them or felt like I was never consistent. Some years I didn't even set any, but as I have gone through this a few times, turning 39 this year, I know deep down that I love the idea of having achieved something by the end of the year, even if it's the smallest goal that you've accomplished. This year, my big focus is balance and making time for the things that I value most in life. So this is how I approached my plan for 2026, or the first quarter of the year. My main aim was to get a feeling for the new routine with the new goals that I had set before fully committing to them. I wanted to make sure that I could fit these new routines and goals into my normal day and feel comfortable with the changes, not overwhelm myself and give up instantly. In fact, on the first day of my new routine, which I chose as the 12th of January, it was also the first day I started working again this year. I admit to having said to my husband, working out 4 days a week for me is like nuts, right? I must be insane. I was already telling myself that I couldn't do it, and it was only day one. I'm proud to say that I've really proved myself wrong, and what utter nonsense I was telling myself that day, because I have managed to get through my new routine for 3 weeks in a row and have done it successfully. So let's dive into the details. I set my goals in 4 categories. So for quarter one, for my personal goal, I want to work on lowering my screen time and limiting myself to 30 minutes a day on social media. I want to read more, especially before bed. So I've set up a routine for that. Under health and fitness, I want to build my walking fitness and do more weightlifting at gym. So to work on these 2 things, I want to get to the gym 3 to 4 times a week with a minimum of 12 visits per month, which doesn't sound like a lot when it should be about 16, but I know that busy schedules can get in the way, and also how you're feeling throughout the month, especially as I am a lady. I want to be realistic with myself. My career goal is the time that I spend outside of my part-time job that I work in the morning. This is a goal that I'm carrying over from last year, and it is to upload 1 YouTube video every month of the year. So this falls into a yearly goal that I've set for myself. Under the financial category, I have a joint goal with my husband that we are going to invest a minimum of 3,000 euros every month, which should be 36,000 euros for the year. If we can invest more, we will, but this is definitely a minimum goal of ours. So to fit all of these new things into my routine, specifically the things that I'm going to work on every single day, I wanted to plan them out in my Google Calendar. I've actually set up the Google Calendar just for my afternoons. So from very early morning to midday is when I'm normally working. And then everything from 12 p.m. till bedtime is included here in my Google Calendar. So I've created events, which also sends me reminders for when each of these things is going to happen throughout the day. So what I did is I made this really realistic for me. Straight after working, I take a break and have some lunch. And then as soon as I'm done with that, I go to gym. And sometimes my workout is quicker than 1.5 hours, and sometimes it's as long as that for me to come home and then also shower and get kind of set up for my next project time block, which takes me to 4:30, and then it's time to prep dinner, do some chores, and to be honest, the chores sometimes land up straight after work, but it really depends on what's going on for the day. And then we have dinner, cleaning up after dinner, cleaning the whole kitchen, and then it's time to relax for these 2 hours. And then I try to get myself to bed by 8 p.m. so that I can read for at least half an hour to an hour before going to bed. And yes, we do go to bed very early because, like I said, we do wake up really early. We both work for South African jobs and we are living in Portugal, so it's a 2-hour time difference. And so we had to shift our whole calendar to make that work. I'm using my habit tracker to track the gym and the reading habit that I'm trying to make sure that I get to. And so far for January, it's looking really good. I only started the gym habit when I actually started going back to work again on the 12th. I did go to gym before this, but for the purposes of fitting gym in 4 times a week, mostly during the week when I have to work as well, I decided to just start tracking it on the habit tracker from the 12th. So for the most part, actually for this goal specifically, I managed to go 4 times every week since the 12th, which is really great, because the day I'm filming this today is the 29th of January, and I'm going tomorrow and I'm going to go on the weekend again, which means this week I'll actually go 5 times, which is cool. And then my reading goal, I actually read quite a bit in the holidays, and then again specifically I'm trying to read Monday to Thursday evenings before bed. I'm really trying to calm my mind before I go to sleep, before I have to be super productive the next day. So that's why it's more consistent from the 12th. And I'm skipping weekends. Sometimes I read on the weekends, I'll tick it off, but really I'm focusing on my weekdays more than my weekends. My weekends I'm really trying to make mine, so I'm not really too worried about tracking habits and hitting goals and things on the weekend. I feel so much lighter having set my goals this way for the start of 2026. It makes me feel like I have my life together and I'm setting myself up for success this year. Most of my goals have a daily or a weekly action to move the needle towards ultimately a bigger goal of achieving something bigger. So with my walking that I'm trying to do quite a few times at the gym every week is to build up my walking fitness so that when we go traveling, I have the ability to walk all day long and I'm not feeling like a granny when I'm only 39. I'm definitely going to be checking in on my goals every quarter, maybe even more than that. But in terms of sharing them, I'll probably do an update every month for any maybe monthly goals that I set for myself additional to these. But I'm definitely going to be checking in every quarter and monitoring the progress and tweaking things that maybe are working for me right now that I've tested out that aren't working for me in another season. I know that trying out my routine for 3 weeks has really worked for me, and I feel like I've set up a good routine already, and I know that I still have to stick to it and be really diligent with all these new goals, but it might work for you too. Maybe your personality type might enjoy this kind of routine and set up in your calendar reminders and things. You know where your day is going, you know exactly which clothes you need to set out every morning or the night before so that you achieve the goals that you want to the next day without any reason to back out or to change the plan. Also, this might be something that you haven't considered, so it's worth giving a try if you haven't tried it before. I hope my process has given you some ideas. If you haven't already set your goals for 2026 or for the first quarter or for the first month or 2 of the year, and it's totally fine if you haven't set goals. You can set goals or try and build new routines throughout the year. So don't feel any pressure if you haven't. It really is a personal thing, and it's also when you are ready to start setting your mind on something that you really want to achieve that it'll be the right time for you. I really hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.